Hi guys, Shaz and Court here. We are coming at you today with a really nice yin practice that is focused on our hips and our shoulders. So there is a myofascial sling that runs from our shoulders all the way down to our hips. And basically this myofascial sling connects our shoulders and our hips. So there's often this beautiful connection between our emotions, especially within our hips. And obviously our shoulders is where we can often hold a lot of tension in our bodies, especially me. I'm the type of person that holds a lot of stress in my upper body. So doing this yin practice today is just going to really release any tension that you're holding onto, not only within your hips, but within your upper body. So it's going to feel really nice and nourishing. So for today's practice, I would invite you to grab 2 blocks, a bolster, a strap, and a blanket. So we've got a lot going on, but it's definitely worthwhile. Okay, so to begin the practice, we're just coming to sit in Vadrasana. So basically, if you would like to place a block underneath your tailbone, you can go ahead and do so. Come to whatever comfortable position works for you. And just place the palms onto the thighs and begin to close down the eyes. And we're just going to take a few moments to settle into our breath. And as we begin to settle into our breath, maybe we can notice any areas that we are holding onto any tension through our bodies. And I really would invite you in today's practice to surrender. That will be the theme that I will be calling to you, surrender. Allow that weight of the world that you hold onto your shoulders to melt away in this practice. And allow this next little while to be completely and solely about you nourishing your body. And so let's go ahead and take one more breath here. And ever so gently begin to crack open the eyes. And we are going to make our way to lie on our backs. But we will be using the block along the way. So once you begin to lie onto your backs, you are going to begin to grab the block and place it underneath your tailbone. So I would choose to use the lowest setting if you can, so make it quite nourishing. And we're just going to take 10 or so breaths here. So if you would like to bring your hands to your lower belly, go ahead and do so. And just allow the back of the body to become heavy. And just allowing yourself to feel into this spaciousness. Maybe this is the first time today that you've given yourself a chance to rest and restore. So noticing just how it feels to have the palms resting on your tummy. And can you feel the heat from your palms radiating down through your clothes onto your belly, and just inviting in a little more softness. And if you would like to make this a little bit more challenging, you can begin to extend the legs. And perhaps bring the arms up overhead and grab a hold of opposite elbows. I'm really feeling this beautiful opening through the body. Maybe in this moment, taking this opportunity to unclench the jaw and soften through the backs of the shoulders, really allowing them to be supported by the earth underneath you. And as always in Yin Yoga, we do invite you to use your breath. Your breath will be your biggest friend in these poses. It really allows you to shift the energy through the body, so don't be afraid to deepen that breath. We are going to be here for 10 more cycles of breath. And go ahead and take 2 more breaths. Feel the chest expand. And as you exhale, feel the back of the body become heavy onto the mat. 1 more breath. Exhale, release. And gently rebend through the knees, grounding down through the soles of the feet. Just take a moment to remove that block from underneath your tailbone and just gently bring it to one side. Extend the legs nice and long and just pause in your pentacle shape. I'm going to be here for too long. Just taking 5 breaths. Have the palms facing up. And go ahead and take 1 more breath. You are now going to draw your arms up overhead and begin to shift your hips over to the right hand side. So we're making our way into banana. Legs will come out over to the corners of the left edge of the mat, and the palms will come out onto the corners of the left edge of the mat. An option here to grab the right wrist with the left hand, or simply just allow those hands to fall over to the left side. And we should feel this beautiful stretch up the right side of the body. And if you need to readjust at any time, go ahead and do so. And then softly make your way back to a stillness. Coming back to this idea of surrender. And keeping the connection to the breath nice and steady. And if your mind begins to wander, it's completely normal. And just gently, lovingly, bring it back into this space. You know, so often these days We are always bombarded with so much external stimuli, whether it be advertisements that we walk by on the street, or our phones, our TVs, our laptops. We're always heavily connected to the outside world, but it's in these moments where we really need to relish the connection to our inside world. And so while it might be hard to pause in stillness, it's so incredibly important for us to take these moments. This is where the real magic happens, not only in our bodies, but also in our minds. So go ahead and take 5 more breaths here. And maybe once you have taken your 5th breath, slowly come back to center, and we will pause in our pentacle. Draw the arms long beside the body, palms facing up. 5 breaths here. Maybe you feel a flush of heat move through the right side of the body. Take a moment to acknowledge that. That is your fascia releasing and softening, liquefying. Let's take one more breath. And reach those arms up overhead. And begin to shift the hips over towards the left side, making our way into our banana pose, so drawing the feet out over towards the right edge of the mat. Hands come out over to the right edge of the mat, and maybe the left hand wraps around the right wrist. Again, taking any little adjustments here, you might like to bring your left foot over your right and deepen the stretch. And then come back to stillness. And I think so often we fight being still. We fight quiet moments because we are ultimately afraid of being alone with ourselves. And it's such an interesting thing because it's in the moments when we are alone with ourselves, where we are processing, where we are healing, where we are bringing to light all the dark aspects of ourselves, that we can really transform, where life begins to look a little bit sweeter. It's such a juxtaposition, it's such an interesting concept. That the thing that we fight the most is the thing that we need the most. And continue to connect to that breath, and perhaps even deepening it slightly. And go ahead and take 5 more breaths. Last breath. And slowly coming back to center. Resting in your pentacle for 5 breaths. Again, noticing if a flush of heat is moving through the body, that's completely normal. And be with these sensations. Let's take one more breath here. And then slowly begin to make your way up to a seated position. We won't be here for too long. We're just going to pause in our Dandasana. Bring the hands beside the hips and lengthen through the spine. So again, you could possibly feel that beautiful rush of heat flood through the body. And again, just noticing those sensations. And we will make our way into a supported fish pose. And this is where I'll give you the option to use your blocks, or you can use a bolster. So if you have your bolster handy, you can place it behind your tailbone and come to lie directly onto the bolster if that feels more comfortable. However, if you have your blocks, you are going to take one on your horizontal side, and then you'll take your second block vertically. So it kind of looks like a T shape with a slight separation between the two. So what we're wanting to do is when we go to lie down onto the block, we want that middle block to just rest in between our shoulder blades. So you might need to readjust. And the crown of the head will rest on that horizontal block. Now you do have the option here to take your soles of the feet together, knees out wide. That can be quite strong, so listen to the body. If you feel you need to extend the legs long, go ahead and do so. And just really feeling this beautiful, juicy opening through the back of the body and the chest. And if you bring the soles of the feet together, you will also feel an amazing release through the hips. And closing down the eyes if they are not already. And this can be quite intense. And so if you need to readjust, make any micro movements, please feel free to do so. And also don't be afraid to use that breath. Continue to deepen that breath. And if you would like a little bit more intensity, it's only an invitation, you might like to remove the block from underneath the crown of your head and just allow that head to drape towards the earth. Now it's going to be quite strong, so if you find that this is too much, then please stay in your supported fish. And enjoy this beautiful opening. Let's go ahead and take 5 more breaths here. Noticing, can you just soften, relax the shoulders a little bit more, especially if you're gripping between the shoulder blades. Let's take 1 more breath. Ever so slowly begin to push yourself up off the block and come back up to your seated position. So just pausing here, maybe grabbing around the ankles of the feet. Knees are out wide, feeling that lengthening through the spine, and you should feel this beautiful flush of heat run through the back of the body. So again, just taking a few moments to relish in that. Let's go ahead and take 1 more breath here. And as you exhale, slowly lower all the way down, lying onto your backs. Making sure that that strap is handy. And we are going to wrap that strap around the top of the right foot. And so just taking a moment to find that sweet spot, drawing the elbows down towards either side of your ribs and finding a little bit of tension onto that strap. And then drawing the toes towards the crown of the head. So really feeling that through the back of the hamstring. And maybe if you would like a little bit more, you can extend that left leg long. I'm not going to be here for too long. It's just a sweet little counter pose. So let's go ahead and take 10 breaths here. Again, just making sure that both hips are pressed down into the mat, that one hip's not lifting. And if it is, just ease back slightly. And close down the eyes if they are not already. And just enjoy this beautiful stretch. And we will be here for 5 more breaths. Once you have taken your 5th breath, bring both straps into that right hand and bring your left arm out to a T-like shape and just gently allow that right foot to drop out over to the right. Again, being mindful of those hips. Just feeling that awesome stretch through the hip flexors. We will be here for another 5 breaths. Take 1 more breath. And on the inhale, slowly draw that right leg back to center. Gently remove the strap and just bring that right leg back down to the earth. Take a moment to pause in your pentacle. And take 5 breaths here just to enjoy. Take one more breath. And then begin to extend that left leg up towards the ceiling. And wrap the strap around that left foot. Again, option to keep that right knee bent. Elbows are drawing down towards either side of the ribs. And gently begin to draw the toes towards the crown of the head. If it feels okay, go ahead and extend that right leg. Feel that beautiful stretch. Close down the eyes. And can you relax a little more? Can you draw the toes towards the crown of the head? Can you flex through that right foot? And taking all those little micro adjustments. We'll be here for another 5 breaths. Once you have taken your 5th breath, draw both straps into that left hand. Maybe tee that right arm out. And then gently begin to draw that left leg out over towards the left. Again, we want to focus on hip stability here, so just making sure that one hip isn't creeping up off the mat, i.e. the right hip. So find that sweet spot where both hips are still firmly planted to the earth. And just go ahead and enjoy 5 beautiful breaths here. Again, letting go of any need to grip. And just letting the muscles do its thing. And intuitively knows what to do if you just relax. And go ahead and take one more breath. On the next inhale, slowly draw that left leg back to center. Remove that strap, just place it to the side and then extend the leg long. Pausing in your pentacle shape, 5 breaths. Go ahead and grab both your blocks again. We are going to bring the soles of the feet together and bring the blocks underneath each knee. And once you arrive into this position, you'll bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your lower belly. I'm going to give Courtney my block. And just make sure that both knees are feeling quite supported in this moment. So soles of the feet together and gently place them underneath the knees. And it just feels really nourishing for the body to feel a little bit of extra support in this moment. So Courtney will go up a little bit higher so she can feel that support. And go ahead, and if you haven't already, place one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly. And bringing back this sense of surrender in this moment. So feeling that connection to your heart, to your belly, and feel that beautiful opening through the hips. And being okay with exactly where you are in this moment. Take peace in the unfolding that will come. If we continuously release our needs, if we allow the flow of life, if we allow this sense of divine grace to wash over us, we can tap into a space of trust. We can trust in the journey of our lives, opposed to gripping so tightly onto the outcome. We can be okay with riding the wave of what will be. And I promise you, the more that we can trust, the more that we can drop into this space of surrender, the more fluid and joyful our lives can become. Just allowing all that to land. Go ahead and take 5 more breaths here. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure that Courtney is feeling nice and nurtured. So when she goes into her Shavasana, so maybe if you have a partner around, you can lean on them. So what we're going to do is gently begin to remove the blocks from underneath the knees. And I will get Courtney to lengthen out her legs. And I'm just going to go ahead and place a bolster underneath her knees for extra support. And so you can also use a pillow here. And just allow yourself to feel nurtured. We really want to feel very nurtured today. And if you do have a blanket handy, I would invite you to go and grab your blanket and gently begin to place it over you. Making sure the feet are covered. Have the palms facing up. And allow yourself to just rest in this Shavasana. And so in this moment, there is absolutely nothing else that you need to do other than just be. And I will let you know when your time is up. And can you just allow your body to become a little bit heavier? Maybe that means relaxing out through the soles of the feet. Relaxing through the thighs. Relaxing through the pelvic bowl and belly. Relaxing through the chest, the heart, the shoulders. Relaxing through the throat, the jaw, and the back of the eyes, and the crown of the head. Feeling completely relaxed. And taking another 10 breaths. If you do have the opportunity to stay in your Shavasana a little longer, I would recommend you do so. But after you have taken your 10th breath, I will invite you to begin to deepen your breath. Invite in small movements. And bring a sense of life back to the body. And maybe just gently rocking the neck from side to side. And treating yourself with a real level of care in this moment. So everything that you do becomes an acknowledgement to self. Transitioning to one side, and doing it with care. And take a moment to pause, be held, and then ever so slowly making your way up to a seated position. And keeping those eyes closed if you can. Let us take a moment to acknowledge what is going on in our internal landscape. How are we feeling? For me, it personally feels like I've been given a beautiful warm hug. So I hope that feeling resonates to you too. Bring the hands to the heart center. And maybe just saying quietly to yourself, I surrender. I trust in the process of my life. One more time, I surrender. And I trust in the process of my life. And we bring our thumbs to our third eye. We bow our head forward and say, Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you guys. We hope you love that practice.
Thank you. I know I did.
We'll see you on the mat soon. Bye.